Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to be doing is an eye muscle exercise warm-up. I call these eye circles. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one hand, preferably your dominant hand to start with. You're going to put it in front of you. You're going to trace your finger. So you're going to go up, and then we're just going to be making circles, focusing on your fingertip. As you calmly breathe, a nice standing posture. Keep your knees soft. Try to move your hand as far as you can to all the directions. You really have to watch with your eyes. So the goal here is to not move your head. It's just to have your eyes move. When we get to the top, I'm going to come down, and you're going to switch to the other hand. And we're going to go opposite directions of the circle. So go up, and then you're tracing as big a circle as you can still look at your finger without moving your head. Just calmly breathing as you're doing this. Just getting the eyes nice and warmed up, and then we're going to bring that down. Now we're going to go back to the right hand. You're going to take your thumb. You're going to look at your thumb and open out to the side as far as you can, keeping your eyes on your thumb without moving your head. You'll find that point where you can no longer really look at it. So just pause right before then. Take a breath. And slowly bring it back, finding it in your focus. And all the way back, and then we're going to switch again. You can be doing whichever side first that you want. Opening up to the side, keeping your eyes tracking on that as much as you can. Getting to that point where you can't see it anymore, pausing. Nice, big deep breath. And then slowly bringing it back. And down. And now, real quick, we're gonna, one last thing for the eyes. Both hands together, and you can have them together, fists, whatever is most comfortable for you. Starting here, we're gonna go up. Finding, again, that point that you can just barely see them. Taking a breath. And then we're gonna go all the way down. Again, try really hard not to move your head. Watch your hands. And go ahead and relax from there. Well, eyes are muscles. You got to control them. You got to work, put that motion in just like anywhere else in your body. What we're going to do next is some head movements. So standing in good posture, knees bent, feet are straight forwards, your glutes are engaged. You got a little tension in your core. Head goes to the side. You're going to feel that stretch in the opposite side of your neck. Take a breath. On your exhale, twist, look up, and then come down. And we're going to just keep doing that twist with your breathing. Exhale. Feeling that changing the tension, maybe increasing the tension on that top side. Nice calm inhales and exhales. Try and keep your head backwards as much as possible, so you're extending the back of your neck. We'll go one more on this side. Gently come up, and we're going to go to the other side. Check in with your posture again. Knees bent, glutes engaged, abs engaged. And twisting as you exhale. Try and let the downside be as relaxed as possible. Feeling that increased tension in your traps. If you want to, you can think really push this hand towards the ground. Might make it a little bit too intense, so if it gets too much, just back it off, let it relax. And go one more here. And gently come up. What we're going to do now, again, check in, standing posture, see if anything shifted. You're going to look down towards the ground, feel your rib cage settle. Feel that tension wherever you're holding in the body here. What we're going to do is just go left with an exhale, inhale to neutral, right, and exhale. I got my directions backwards, but that's okay. Inhale to neutral, exhale, inhale, trying to feel this stretch, getting to different parts of your neck. You really extend your head to the side. And go one more. Give that a gentle exhale as you come back up. Last one we're doing for the neck. You're going to think your head's going backwards and your chin's going up. I'm going to try and keep your chest nice and stationary. In this position, you're going to look to the right, feeling that tension here down into your chest. Inhale to neutral. Oh, actually. If you want to, you can try exhaling as you come up. With this one, you build tension in different places, so the breathing pattern is a little different. So feel free to try both. Just make sure you breathe as you move. And try and extend your head backwards. Go one more per side. Then exhale. Come back up to your standing posture. Very nice. Wiggle that out a little bit. Neck should be feeling nice and stretched out. What we're going to do now is some backwards reaches. So a little bit bigger knee bend for this. Really engage your glutes. You're going to take your arms and bring them up and think your hands are trying to get away from each other. So you're rotating outwards ever so slightly. And what you're going to do here is just reach and allow yourself to lean and then come back. So the goal here is to try and think you're getting your armpit opened up. So as much as possible, fight the rib cage to stay down. But once you hit that end range, you can let it go. Feeling that stretch in your chest, maybe in your neck, maybe in your shoulders. Give that a big exhale, keeping your glutes engaged. You're trying to reach backwards. Nice big inhale, big exhale. Breathing in here, exhaling back down. I'm gonna do a couple more of these. Last one. Nice big exhale. And let that down. Next up is a forward fold. So you're going to hinge your hips backwards, pushing, finding that hamstring tension, letting your stomach move down towards your legs, and then letting your chest move down. So we're really trying to build into that hamstring tension the whole time. Taking a nice deep breath here. Try and allow your weight to shift forward, to be more on your toes. And think extend your hips up to the ceiling as you bring your chest towards your knees. I'm going to take one more breath here, and I'm going to change it up slightly. So grab your elbows. Think you're pushing your elbows towards the ground, and then you're just going to gently rock side to side, keeping that tension in your hamstring, shifting it from one leg to the other. Going to bring your stomach towards your thighs, your ribs towards your knees. Just going to do a few more rocks here. Make sure you're maintaining that breathing pattern. Just big inhales and exhales. And gently let your arms release. And find your glutes. Squeeze your glutes hard, and you're just going to slowly come up. And finish. Nice big open. And shake out if you need to. Next up is going to be a standing cat-cow. So, similar to cat-cow on the ground, we're working on spinal mobility. First up, thumbs to shoulders, elbows to rib cage. We're going to hinge the hips backwards, finding again that hamstring tension, just like on that forward fold. Take a breath. On that exhale, your arms come together, your chest presses up, head tucks down. So this is the cat position. Inhale, chest goes down, arms open up, head looks upwards. Exhale. Inhale. So back and forth with this, timing it to your breathing, trying to get range on both sides of this. Making sure you're pushing the hips backwards, feeling that hamstring tension. We're pressing into cat, squeezing the glutes really hard. We'll go one last one, cow. Let yourself come out of that, squeezing the hips. And just to kind of finish off in that hinging motion, we're going to just do some hip hinges here. So cross your arms in front of you, just so you have some nice support here. We're going to just bend the knees, push the hips back as far as you can, keeping weight on the toes, finding that hamstring tension, and squeeze, push forward. I'm going to do a few of these. Hamstring tension, weight on the toes, squeeze the glutes, push your hips forwards. Nice big exhale. Inhale, nice and slow. And exhale. Trying to really feel your femurs kind of rotate outwards as you push your hips back. Should rotate into your ankles, so you're almost bringing your heels together, keeping weight down on all of your toes. This is going to be the last one. And next up is some of the lunging twists. So if you're on a yoga mat, go to one side. You're going to slide one leg back until you get into a lunge. You feel a little bit of a calf stretch, but you can be there pretty comfortably. And what we're going to do, we're going to tighten the abs and squeeze the glute on this back leg So you try and push your heel down. So you should now feel tension in your hip flexor, the front part of the hip, and in your calf. We're going to hold here for a little bit, feeling that tension, holding that squeeze, making sure you're getting that strong glute contraction on this back leg. And we're going to come out of that just for a little breather. So let it release. Now find that tension again, sink your heel down. We're going to cross the arms again. We're going to twist towards your up leg. Nice big exhale. Twisting, feeling that increase in that hip flexor on the back leg, that increased tension. So really time this movement to your breathing. You're exhaling as you twist, holding that until you're out of air, inhaling back. Try and make sure this knee keeps pushed outwards towards the side. If you let that knee come inwards, it's going to change how we're trying to work the hip. Go one more here on this side. And lean forward to gently come out of that. We're going to do the other leg, same thing. So slide it back so you feel a little bit that calf stretch. And hold here briefly. Make sure you got weight on the outside edge of your foot. Now we're going to find the glutes, squeeze the glutes, try and sink your calf down a little bit more. And we're going to hold here for a little bit. Nice calm breathing. Making sure that front leg and knee stays out to the side. Keeping that glute squeeze real strong on the back. And go ahead and come out and relax a little bit. Find the glute squeeze. Sink the heel down. I'm going for the twists. Nice big exhale. Again, your lunge doesn't have to be at this range. You just want to have a lunge, as I said, where you're finding tension, finding that calf stretch, finding that hip flexor stretch. So don't push yourself past that point, because then you're most likely going to be stretching more in your low back as opposed to in the hip flexor. Really just try and stay cognizant of what your body is telling you. You don't want to ignore it. You're going to listen to where it needs to be. Make sure you're holding that strong squeeze on that back leg, feeling that increase as you turn. A couple more here. Nice one. And rock forwards. Stand up. I just real quick got to check the time. Cool. Okay. So next up, we're going to get into a spread foot position. Now, in this spread foot, you want to make sure your hips are pushed forward slightly, and you feel a little bit of a groin stretch. So whatever that is for you, for me it's about right here. Try and keep weight on the outside edges of your feet to preserve the arch. And take your arms, extend out, so you're making a big T with your torso, and then pushing with the side of your hip that you're moving backwards with. You're going to twist. You're twisting. Now move forward a little bit. I forget how tiny my room is. So glutes are engaged, pushing the hips forward. Twisting. Trying to extend your hands as far apart as you can, and back. Big inhale, big exhale. Again, thinking you're reaching your arms as far away from each other as you can. Inhale, big exhale. It's an excellent time to take note in rotational differences. It gives you something to think about working on. For me, rotating to my left is much harder. Spend a lot of time trying to open up that side. So if any time you're noticing a difference from one side to the other, just try and make sure you stay aware of it. It's your body's way of saying things need a little bit more attention, a little bit more care. Do one more on each twist. Last one. And let the arms down. Now, you can stay in this spread foot. I gotta shift back to my yoga mat. What we're doing next is some glides. So we're gonna hinge the hips back, just like we've done a number of times today. Feeling that hamstring tension, keeping weight on the outside edge of the feet. And you're gonna twist a little bit, so bringing the heels together. From here, you're going to push your hips over to one side. One leg is straight, the other leg is bent. Feeling that groin stretch and that hamstring stretch. Then you're going to shift over to the other side. Again, now feeling groin stretch, hamstring stretch on this leg. Big inhale, big exhale. Pushing through that foot over into the side. Holding here for a breath. Exhaling. Trying to think about your hips moving as far backwards as possible. Your chest is big. You exhale. You transfer. So your hips should stay high, and you want to move them level. If you're not trying to go up and down, just trying to shift left and right. Feeling that tension increase as you slowly push into each side. Go one more on each leg. On this next one, go ahead and drive your hips up. Shake that out a little bit if you need to. And gently walk your feet back in together. So next up, we're going to do some Stork Wash. So the single leg balance, if you know you have trouble with this, it's totally right to use a support. Try to do this freestanding if possible. You're going to bring your arms up, elbows together, hands together, reaching your arms forwards. And then one leg comes up as you open with an exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Try and feel what your back is doing as you're doing this movement. You don't want to be rounding the low back behind you. You want to be keeping yourself tall, keeping that squeeze on your standing leg. You open your chest up. Try and open enough that you feel tension in your chest, but not enough that you're opening the rib cage to tip upwards. It's a fine line. Don't feel bad if you're struggling with that part. As long as you feel that tension stretching in your chest, and you can maintain that glute squeeze on your standing leg. Those are the key points of this movement. A couple more. that down, very nice. Now, you're gonna take your hands, you're gonna interlace your fingers behind you, thumbs are pointing into your hips. And what we're gonna be doing here is you're going to go up, out to the side, and down with both. So I'm gonna go from this angle. So up, the leg and the hands, out to the side, down with the leg and the hand. Up, out, down. So the goal is to make that nice and smooth, trying not to have rotation. If you're anywhere but your leg, so if you're twisting open like this, don't really want that. You're gonna keep your hips fixed forwards, and you're moving your leg. If you're struggling with the balance, try and find something in front of you to focus on, and allow that to just become the center of your vision. Exhaling as you lift, inhaling as you come down. Try and take notice in clicking, popping, and shifting the oddness in your hips. Try and take notice of when it happens. One more on each leg, and then we're going to shift directions doing this same motion. So if your arms need a rest, give them a rest. What we're going to do is the same arm motion. So back, squeezing the shoulder blades, go out to the side and in. Out to the side and in. Again, try not to have the pelvis shifting. As you're doing this motion. Keep yourself nice and tall. Opening that chest up. So each of these arm movements, and then get into that tension in front of your shoulders and your chest. Keeping that glute squeeze on the standing leg. We'll go one more on each leg. And we'll go ahead and shake that off. I just want to make sure, time for these last things. Okay, real quick. We're going to bring the feet together and the knees together, so your knees are contacted. Squat down, your hands are on your knees. What we're going to do here, circle, push the knees forwards, out to the side and up. Push your knees forward so you really feel weight under your toes. So basically as far forward as you can go with your knees. Making sure you got your hands there, feeling that twisting. Really feeling it's in your shins, your ankles, your toes. Now we're going to go the other direction. You don't want to be feeling this in the low back. If you are starting to, squeeze the glutes. Trying to make yourself extended through your spine, big chest. Again, really pushing your knees forward enough that you feel weight shift into your toes. Your heels should feel very light. And there we go. And that is what we have time for today. Hope you enjoyed the applied mobility class.